I'm here to show the world. I'm here to show the world. Come on, bring it on. People I see better watch what I do. Better heed the warning. I'm here against you. If you ever doubted me, you don't have a clue. I'm here to show the world. I'm here.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Rope Break. It is like we are The Rock or Brock Lesnar, and we only show up once every couple months. But we're back.
Oh, yeah. It's pretty much like that. We were both waiting for our royalty checks as well.
We were waiting for those royalty checks, and gosh darn it, Paul Levesque just would not give it to us.
Yeah, and we told the company, fuck you. We're not podcasting again until you give us our goddamn royalty check.
Oh, so that's basically...
Then they fired me on my birthday last month.
I'm your host, Jeff Wolf. I'm alongside Eric Vanek, if you have forgotten. Basically, we've been...
Jeff Wolf, get it right.
Yeah, get it right or pay the price. We've been not really into wrestling lately. Neither of us have been really that enough where, I've thought about doing a solo podcast. Eric wasn't wanting to do a podcast for a while, and I was thinking about doing a solo. I didn't even do a solo, but after this weekend with the whole CM Punk thing, it gave us our second win.
Yeah, and with TLC coming to Cleveland here next month, that Jeff will be attending with me. Yes. That's giving me my second win as well.
So this show, we're not going to talk about what we haven't talked about in the last couple months. We're not going to even talk about necessarily the pay-per-view from last month. But we are going to talk about two main topics. One, obviously, CM Punk and Colt Cabana, they broke the internet for sure. Just a couple. What was it? Was it yesterday?
No, it was like last week or earlier this week. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't remember the exact day, but yeah. So that happened, and obviously something that me and Eric have talked about, or we're talking about for weeks and weeks and weeks, about how they're going to debut Sting. That happened too. So we're just going to talk about those two main topics this time, and then hopefully this is going to start the revolution of us doing this, getting more excited about it. I know if we bring up NXT more, it's going to get us both more excited about it, because we are big fans of what's going on in NXT, but that's for another show. So first, let's talk about this whole CM Punk thing.
Okay. You want to start first, or you can ask me what I think. I don't care.
Just like Phil said, where do you even begin? I mean,
yeah.
In all honesty, we could make this a podcast as long as his podcast with Cabana.
Yeah.
Just on this topic.
And I will say, from the start here, I 100% totally trust everything that Punk said. I believe every single word of it. And it's so funny to hear Ryback and WWE and other people come out and try and defend themselves. Oh, that never happened. This didn't happen. Which is total fucking bullshit.
Well, he has no reason to lie. What possible reason does he have to come up with anything that's not just the truth? It's just his story of it.
It's not even that. It's the fact that it's CM Punk, and he doesn't lie. That's just not him. He says it straight up to your face, no matter what it is, and you're gonna like it or tough shit.
Yeah, and that's him in a nutshell. Either you're gonna love him or you're gonna hate him. There's really no in between. You're always on one end or the other.
Yeah. And everything he said, I 100% believe to. He might have changed a few words here and there, not recalling the exact conversations he had with some people, but I totally agree and believe everything that he said in that podcast. So
yeah. All right. So let's see. Let's diagnose the whole thing.
Oh wait, hold on one second. I'm getting a text message. Oh, CM Punk's looking for his royalty checks. We should maybe stop.
Oh. So, I mean, there's so much ground to cover on the whole CM Punk thing. First of all, there's up until now, everyone thought he quit, which you can't say he doesn't quit a little bit, because he's the one that initializes the walking out, but he's not the one.
He had every goddamn reason to.
Oh, he had every right.
I I don't blame the guy one bit for all the stuff that he was going through.
No.
Oh, no, we need you. We need you.
This whole thing definitely puts a shiner on the WWE just for the way that they treat people, and it exposes the way that they treat people, which as fans it's all we've assumed over hearing things here and there, but of him being so candid with the whole thing, it pretty much just shows that they really don't care about the talent. They care about John Cena, obviously, and they care about a certain group of people. But if you're not in that ring of honor, so to speak, not to play on the actual company of Ring of Honor, then they really don't care about you, and they really don't care what happens to you as long as it doesn't affect their business. And they could it shows what kind of an ass Vince really is. He doesn't care about people's health. He cares about how soon you can get back into that ring to make his butt money, and that's what it comes down to.
Yeah, if you're not a superstar and all that, and like Punk pointed out, like they just don't care. Like future storylines, that's a big part of this whole wrestling thing, and they have no fucking clue what the fuck they're doing next. No clue at all.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, and
it's,
that
okay,
was
guys,
one of the biggest things that I remembered from that is you have the perception that they have months and months of knowledge of storylines, and it seems like they don't. They're just going month by month, and if you're not one of the guys that brings in a whole lot of money, they don't care.
Yeah, well, week by week, and that is why the Intercontinental title, the United States title, and the tag team titles to extent, years ago, the last 10 years or so beforehand, recently it's gotten better, but they didn't give a fuck. And it's because they have 75 writers, like Punk said. You don't know who the fuck they are. They change like your underwear every day. You don't know who these guys are. And you tell them, oh, I don't like that idea, and then they're like, oh, well, fuck that guy. I don't want to work with him. He's an asshole.
Yeah.
So it's like, you got that. You got, they only care about the Cenas, the Undertakers, the Rocks, the Triple H's of the world. That's all they give a fuck about. And yeah, that's great. They make you the most money and all that, but you still have other people there. And it shows it. It's been like this for years and years and years. You see it in their product. Why their product has gotten so shitty. Like, why you don't care about the undercard people is because they don't care about the undercard people.
Yeah. That's where it starts. It starts up there, and it's just like diarrhea running down a hill.
Yeah.
And I can see why WWE hates this. They hate it because it exposes them.
Exactly.
And I really don't know why they didn't charge everyone $10 to listen to this. I would have paid $10 to hear this.
Well, that's just how Punk is. And
yeah, I know.
It's like, okay, it's the same thing with LeBron James. LeBron James could have made a boatload of money off of his next decision. And he basically was telling everybody, oh, look on my website, I'll have an announcement on this day. And meanwhile, in the background, he's telling SI.com what he's really going to do and posting a story.
Mm-hmm.
That's what... Punk and Cabana could have done that. Punk could have been like, oh, well, I'm going to be on here and it's going to be $10, or I could have went on, what is it, Smart Marks or whatever it is,
mm-hmm.
video, and I could have been paid, thousands and thousands of dollars to tell my story, but that's just not him. Cabana is one of his best friends in life. He's helping him out, plus it's helping Punk out to get his story out there, and more eyes and more ears are getting on his podcast because it is free. It's accessible to anybody, to the casual fan, as they put it, which is what the WWE cares about. So now they understand where Punk is coming from better. It'll be interesting. I highly doubt they will even talk about it, but it'll be interesting to see tomorrow night after Raw. They're doing the Stone Cold and Vince McMahon podcast on the network.
That's right.
It'll be interesting to see if Stone Cold even asked Vince anything about that, or if it's predetermined of what they're going to talk about.
Yeah, I after this, I don't think you're not even going to see the joking things about CM Punk again. I think you're not going to see CM Punk in the WWE for
No. I'm
going to say this: you will see him back. I think you will see him back, but you're not going. But it's going to be at least 10 years.
Oh yeah, I agree. It could be like a Bret Hart kind of situation.
Oh yeah, it's exactly like that. Like CM Punk is now going to be known as a very controversial thing. It was already controversial in the WWE. It's going to be extremely controversial. One where you don't really talk about, just like the Bret Hart thing. Like you knew about it, but within WWE you just like didn't mention it. So I think Punk is definitely going to be along that kind of.
It's funny because Vince always has these like type of feuds with everybody, but then ends up, making amends in the end. Warrior, Hogan, Bret Hart, you name it. He's done it with a lot of people, and I definitely agree with you. Punk will probably be it. Another one. I honestly think Punk is so goddamn stubborn, though, and that's a good thing, though, because I respect him for it, and he goes by his way or the highway. That I think even if they reached out to him, he'd be like, no, fuck you. I'm done with you. And I could see Punk being stubborn like that and never, like if they said, hey, we're doing Mania in Chicago this year. We want to induct you in the Hall of Fame. He'd be like, no, go fuck yourself.
Yeah. I mean, I really don't think he would even join the Hall of Fame for like I said, another 10 years.
Do you even think they would even put him in?
Yes, they will.
I mean, I think he's deserved it. There's no doubt he's deserved it, in my mind.
I mean, it's hard to say what's deserving and what's not. Because when you put, like, people, like, in the celebrity wings in there, then it's like, it makes me feel like the whole Hall of Fame is just a sham. It's just crap. But, I mean, for what Punk has done as a professional wrestler, like, his story is one of the greatest stories there is. Because and that's why it's so awesome when he makes mention to the fact that the WWE didn't make him. Because they didn't. He personally has made himself over every avenue he's gone. Now, did the WWE give him the biggest stage to do it on and to show everyone what he can do? Then yeah, they did. But CM Punk is his own person, and he has done it anywhere he has gone his whole life. So I mean, it's a real interesting story. Basically, I guess what we really should get into though is the main reason Punk left, as he said in this podcast, was basically two things. It was mainly his health, and it comes down to money, like most things do. It came down to the fact that he was injured. He was very injured, and they sugarcoated his injury completely. They didn't want to tell him the truth, honestly, because they didn't want him to lose time for their company.
Yeah,
and that's bullshit.
But that's like that for every wrestler, though. I guarantee you there's, tons of injuries that these people shouldn't come back from. That's like Super Cena coming back from all these injuries. Like, oh, it's going to be 8 months, and here he is 2 months later at Royal Rumble.
Yeah, I know. He was supposed to be out for like 8 to 12 months, and he comes back in like 4 months. Because
they need him so badly.
This is a company that's not going to have health insurance for their workers.
Yeah, and I feel bad for people.
No one will insure them.
Yeah, and I feel bad for people like Cena and Punk and those guys because they're so dedicated. Well, they were dedicated, and so hard-working for this company that didn't even really take care of them and fuck them over, that they're willing to risk their bodies and all that. That's why, I'm sure there's more cases of injuries that we don't even know about, that are that are worse that are worse or just as bad, and it's really shitty, to be honest. The other thing I took from this, like you said, the health, I heard a lot of things about health. I heard a lot of things about money, but one thing that I took away from this that he really wanted and never got was the main event of WrestleMania. That's all the fucking guy wanted, was the main event of WrestleMania. And I think that would have cured a lot of things. He would have been like, okay, awesome, I got it. I'll do whatever the fuck you want now. But it was the fact that they kept screwing him over and screwing him over and screwing him over just pissed him off. And I don't blame him.
Well, the thing is with it's like he never really says he never really says this, but it's like everything that he talks about, it leads to this. The guy just wants to be wanted. And when you have guys like The Rock and Brock Lesnar, and Triple H, people like that are coming in just for a real short program and then leaving, and they're being given the world. They're being given any kind of creative control they want. They're being given any kind of money they want, any kind of fine print in their contracts that they want. Like he talked about with Brock Lesnar, where like CM Punk wanted to be the one to start out having like. I could picture him with like his like Ring of Honor shorts or something like that back, and he wanted to like have sponsorships on them, and then Vince is like, no, that can't be done, that's never done. And then months later it happens with Brock, and you look at the paychecks that all the other people are getting that are in the same exact platform as him, at that level as him, and he's getting mid-level money while they're getting this crazy amounts of money that we thought only people like Hulk Hogan would be getting, and it just. The dude just wanted to be wanted. He just wanted to have his WrestleMania moment. He wanted the company. He wanted to not. I truly believe he doesn't like to bitch. I really believe that. Maybe he does a little bit. Let's be honest. But he wants the company to want to put him at the stage where he knows he can be at. And
all he wanted was their support,
yeah.
And for them to get behind him, and he was going to show them, look, I'm the best motherfucker in the world, and I'm going to fucking prove it. And you know what? He is. He really is. And he was the best on the mic. There is nobody. Maybe Bray Wyatt has come a little bit close, but
yeah, there's still no one better than
there's no one in the last. Since maybe The Rock that has come anywhere close to how good CM Punk is.
I mean, maybe Jericho, but
Jericho was good. Rock was good. Bray is good right now, but that's it.
Yeah,
there ain't nobody else that can touch Punk on the mic.
And it's been an absolute struggle since day one of him walking into the company, of being labeled like the King of Indies, and then from that moment, it's just like they've just dissed him for that, it seems. It seems they've never, ever truly been behind him. And
they do it with everybody, and like Daniel Bryan, they've done it with Daniel Bryan. And, you know, I'm afraid that they're going to do it with these new guys in NXT. I forget their real names, but Hideo Itami and Finn Balor and Kevin Steen. I think his name's going to be Kevin Owens or something. Yeah, he's
going to be Kevin Owens and then Balor Finn now.
Is that what this side?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Because you're not caught up in NXT yet. Yeah, he goes by Balor Finn.
All right, I mixed
or
it up.
Was it Finn Balor?
I thought it was Finn Balor. But...
Yeah, that might be what it is. Yeah, he's only been on a couple weeks, but yeah, no, I agree. I feel, and I hate to have this mentality, but it seems absolutely convincingly true that if you're not homegrown talent by the WWE, then yeah, they're going to use you. They're going to try to get some money out of you. They understand you have a following, and that's cute to them. But they're never going to take you serious. They're never going to be able to evaluate you and put you on a platform as high as the people that they've had in their company. But at the same time, it's a different age. Like there's no territories anymore. It's just the indies. It's just small little indie shows, and then you have to as an indie worker, you have to build your reputation up so high to be able to even get noticed by the WWE, and then it's like they take you out of that to put you in their developmental stage, and then they don't ever want to be behind you so much to make you feel like an actual WWE superstar, and it's just ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Punk did that. I guess next week they're doing like a follow-up show, and they're letting fans ask some questions, send them into Colt, and I guess they're going to go over them, some of them. I sent in a question personally, so hopefully it gets on there. If it is, that would be sweet, and we'll let you guys know. But I'm sure when we do our podcast next week, we'll listen to the follow-up show and report anything back on that as well. So I'm looking forward to that, actually.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing that podcast. It's going to be again on Colt Cabana's podcast.
Art of Wrestling.
Yeah, Art of Wrestling. If you don't listen to Art of Wrestling, listen. I have been listening to Art of Wrestling for at least over a year. He gets some of the greatest people or I should say great people. He gets there's really great people that he gets on there, but he gets some of the most popular people in professional wrestling right now, and they are absolute candid about everything. Like they go.
Yeah,
out.
I'm gonna start doing that because I had no idea this was even going on.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
thanks for telling.
When I used to just like go out and just I used to walk for a couple of miles every day. I need to do that some more, but that's another story. But I would just listen and like he's had like he had like Natalia on. Natalia like just told it how it is. He obviously gets CM Punk on a lot, even when it's not CM Punk's time. CM Punk goes on there just because him and Colt are such good friends. He gets some really top WWE people. And he gets some of the older guys. Like I know a couple of weeks ago he had on Shane Douglas. I think one of our favorite local guys a couple months back he had Johnny Gargano on with a couple people. So
did he? I have to
yeah.
go back and listen to that.
Yeah, and he's even had Hall of Famers, WWE Hall of Famers. So really he gets a lot of great talent to be on his show. And I hate us being a mark for his show or whatever, but honestly, it's the best wrestling podcast there is, and I would strive that one day we could ever be even a little bit as good as his show.
Well, speaking of that though, like just hearing the like backlash from WWE and stuff about all of this is that Triple H is fucking livid with this podcast, like of how bad Punk just buried him and made him out to be this stupid fucking stooge that he is. And like they're pretty much in the same boat that Punk is on their no call list ever again, and that that Triple H and Stephanie hate him, but Vince is mad, but he's like, not ready to like completely throw him, out of the family.
Yeah.
But Triple H and Stephanie are, and Triple H and Stephanie are pretty much the future of this company. So it'll be interesting to see, like you said, if 10 years from now, let's say, Vince is out of it, his health turns for the worse, whatever, and he's not running this ship anymore, and Triple H and Stephanie are, like, they might be so stubborn to not ever make amends with CM Punk. So that'll be interesting to see. And then the other part was, I guess, Colt was being, touted for maybe a announcer's job with WWE for like the last year or so. They've been trying to get him to maybe come to work with NXT announcing and maybe get him to do announcing or other things with WWE. I guess from now, after doing this podcast and throwing WWE under the bus pretty much, they said he is on their shit list, from what I hear.
Which that I don't take as serious as the CM Punk thing.
Yeah.
Because if you were to ask me, Colt Cabana right now would be one of the best announcers for any wrestling company there is. Whether you want to put him on NXT, you want to put him on Raw,
like
SmackDown.
There's that dude with the glasses right now, that little small dude doing fucking NXT. He's fucking terrible. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know which one you're talking. Yeah, I mean the thing is with NXT is they don't have a solid just like go-to team. It's it's interchangeable a lot.
Yeah, like I don't want Jason Albert or A-Train or whatever the fuck you call him. He's terrible. I would rather have Renee Young. Renee Young entertains the shit out of me. She is awesome.
Yeah, she really is.
And I love Alex Riley. Alex Riley is just fucking phenomenal.
Alex Riley can't do no wrong to you.
Oh God, he's phenomenal with the stuff that he does, I think.
Phenomenal. He's okay. He's not like, phenomenal.
He might be the new phenomenal one.
He's the new well, apparently AJ's not going by the phenomenal one anymore, so maybe.
But I could listen to Renee Young all day. Like, I would rather Michael Cole just fucking retire and let Renee Young take over the fucking.
No. I think we all would wish that.
I wonder how long Michael Cole will be with this company. Like, he might be there till another 20, 30 fucking years.
Oh, I'd say the bare minimum, unless he does something stupid, he's there for 10 more years.
Which is a good possibility.
Yeah. Unless he pulls a CM Punk, he's going to be there for 10 years. He could be there for 20, 30 years. I mean,
but he is like best friends with John Cena and travels with Cena all the time. So if he does something stupid, Cena will just get him.
Oh yeah, they're butt buddies.
But yeah, so that's it for that.
Well, let's see. Did you want to talk about the whole concussion testing thing?
Oh, we can, yeah.
Okay, I just want to touch up on it because this sounds.
Well, you can go with that. I want to talk about the other thing that pissed me off, but go ahead.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about these two things, then we'll move on because, like we said, if we don't move on, we will talk about this for another hour.
Yeah, we're at 25 minutes now. So.
Okay. Yeah, I'd like to keep this under an hour for the first one back. So Punk says in there that he's getting tested, and while he's getting tested for a concussion, he has like headphones on. He's texting someone else, and basically that WWE doesn't even really care. They're not even doing like an advanced testing of his concussion. They basically just like, yeah, okay, you're good. And it just seems like concussions is such a huge thing with the WWE, especially after the whole Benoit and Eddie thing.
I think this is one of the reasons they were so pissed off.
I guarantee it was one of the reasons.
Yeah.
Because this is the WWE has done so much damage control over the last couple years with the media and everything of saying how proud they are of doing concussion testing and making sure that their athletes are in rare form to be able to perform and not get hurt and not do something that makes their concussion worse, kind of like what happened with the Chris Benoit thing. And then Punk comes out and pretty much says that they're testing, and he says it straight up, it's bullshit. That their testing is absolute bullshit. And it's just very interesting for this to come out.
They tell him, okay, he was sitting there with his headphones on, texting Colt Cabana, and they're like, okay, you passed.
Yeah.
And he's like, okay,
he's like,
you
really?
know, and then they're like, oh, well, we want you to go down and run the ropes.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, what am I running the ropes for? He's like, well, we still think you might have a concussion. We just want to check and make sure and all this. So he's like, okay, so you're basically telling me your test was bullshit because you just said I passed.
Yes.
And, he just went on and on about that. He said he had another concussion at the Royal Rumble, I think, this year. Or was it the year before? I want to say it was this year.
No, this year.
Yeah, this year, and he rolled over the ring, and it was like when Kofi jumped in and gave him a clothesline or something, and his head hit the back of the mat.
Yeah.
And he rolled over to the ring, and he came in, he motioned for Doc to come over, and he's like, Doc, I got a concussion. And the Doc's like, oh, well, what do you want me to do? Punk he just starts laughing, and he goes, you are the most worthless piece of shit.
Oh, that's why I love him. He's just completely he says exactly what like every real fan wants someone to say, but no one else will say it but him.
Exactly. So he finishes his match. He gets chokeslammed through a table by Kane. He's got a concussion. He's got this lump on him that he didn't even know was a fucking infection. He's got 2 banged up knees. His neck hurts from fucking steroid guy fucking up a table spot.
Yeah, he's got broken ribs.
Yeah, he's got broken ribs from this guy giving a legit kick to the fucking ribs, on purpose. So,
see, that's the thing that they talked about Ryback being so bad. A part of me thinks Ryback's just so dumb that he doesn't know what he's doing wrong.
He's a typical fucking jock that's on roids. He's just so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
And I
love that Ryback admits to him, no, I'm just a fucking idiot.
Yeah, and then dumbass fucking Ryback goes on Twitter and starts making fun of it. Then the WWE office probably fucking calls him. It's like, oh no, you gotta take that stuff off of Twitter, man.
Yeah.
He posted this picture of like 8 fucking Ryback figures around this broken table with Punk's fucking body laying, Punk's action figure laying through the tables. He's like, oh, I'm thankful for a lot of things this Thanksgiving. And then WWE probably called him, oh, you can't have that on there, man. And my favorite part of the Punk fucking podcast is how he said shit on Twitter, and WWE called him and said, "Oh, you got to take that off, man. You got to delete that." So he went and changed it that he's sick of this poop, and then fucking blocked fucking WWE on Twitter.
Like he's employed by them still.
He was
This
employed
is
by them
before he
still.
even walks out, and he just blocks his own company.
On fucking Twitter. I thought that was the best part of the story.
I mean, it's very comical, and it's not even supposed to be comical necessarily. It just shows how childish and stupid the WWE is, and ignorant. Like, I mean, I know he came on and he said, "I don't want this to be a shoot," because honestly, he could have shot. He could have gone to RF Video, gone to Rob Feinstein. He would have probably paid him a crap ton of money to get this, and Punk could have shot completely on the WWE, on Triple H, on Vince, on Stephanie, Ryback, even more so than he did, but he didn't. He just came on here. He helped his buddy out with his podcast, which is already a top podcast on iTunes, and he really just told his story. But it's just funny that some of the things of his story really just exposed WWE for being so stupid.
Yeah.
And it's so dumb-minded by the WWE and by Vince McMahon, and like the whole thing with I mean, I can go forever with the whole thing with Daniel Bryan.
The thing that I want to go on with is he says he has this lump on him the whole time for like 3 months, and the doc at WWE is like, "Oh, does it hurt? You know, oh, here's some fucking Z-Packs. This will make you feel great." The fucking Z-Packs aren't helping. They give him a better antibiotic, that don't fucking work, and Punk is just feeling worse and worse. This lump is getting bigger and bigger. The fucking doc's being a lazy piece of shit, won't fucking cut it out after Punk keeps telling him, "Fucking cut this shit out." And he's like, "No, you know, you got a match tonight, and we don't want to give you stitches and have you wrestle, blah, blah, blah." So after Punk took his leave in Cleveland that night, you know, he went to AJ's doctor in Tampa, and the doctor's like, "You have a MRSA infection, which is a staph infection." And he's like, "That's full-blown staph infection. Like, if you didn't get that taken care of, you know, soon, you could have fucking died."
Yeah.
And to know that, and to know that is probably the honest fucking truth of what is coming from his mouth. And if WWE doctor didn't fucking want to do something about it, and you could have fucking killed somebody. That is ridiculous. I think that fucking doctor should get his ass fucking canned.
Oh yeah, he should be fired. Like if that, like you need to be upfront and honest with your workers completely, especially like I said, when they do not have health insurance unless they are paying for it themselves. When you're in a, because no one's going to insure these guys, but you have to be completely honest with them. Or you know what? If you're not going to be, you need to send them to a doctor that will be completely honest with them, because you are messing not with their careers, you're messing with their lives. And if CM Punk would have died over that, oh my gosh, that would have been crazy.
Yeah, and then the other one too is he got his fucking elbow surgery, and he's at tapings because they want him to cut promos and shit, and they're like, "Okay, you're good to go," and he's like, "I haven't even been fucking cleared by fucking Dr. James Andrews yet," and the doc's like, "Oh, well, I called him and told him your situation. He said he cleared you. You're good." He's like, "What kind of fucked up fucking witch doctor shit are you guys fucking running here?"
Yeah.
You know?
Like, how is someone cleared when that person hasn't even physically seen them yet?
Yeah. And he's like, "No, fuck you. I'm not fucking wrestling until I get fucking cleared by the doctor. So send me there."
Yeah. Like,
and I don't blame him. Like,
no.
And I'm sure there's so many other fucking things that gone on with this.
Yeah, he's just open about it.
With you know, so many other wrestlers that are currently in WWE or whatnot that have gone through the same type of shit with this fucking doctor, and it's, I mean, I'm sure it's not just him. I'm sure it's his assistants and stuff or whatever. But I mean, obviously, his job is to make sure these guys are out there making Vince money.
Yeah.
You know, that's first and foremost. It's obviously he does not fucking really care about their health, because he could have fucking killed somebody. So that's my rant on that, and I hope that guy gets what it's coming to him.
But here's the thing: is I don't necessarily think that it's the doctor. I think it's really people like Vince and Triple H going to the doctor and kind of nudging them and being like, "He's going to be good, right? Like, he's going to be good, right?" Like, it's just such a selfish company that doesn't care about the well-beings of their talent at all.
Yeah. And another perfect example of what you just said is Punk had knee surgery, and his prognosis was 4 to 6 weeks. Vince calls him. He's like, "Hey, we got you booked TLC match on the first Raw. It's going to be against Ryback, and it's in 3 weeks." And he's like, "Yeah, I just talked to the doc. Your prognosis is 4 to 6 weeks, but we're going to have you in a match in 3 weeks, a TLC match against Ryback, who almost ended your fucking career earlier."
Yeah, and it's going to be a TLC match. It's going to be a horribly dangerous match.
Yeah, thanks, Vince. With a horribly dangerous fucking person.
Yeah,
thanks, Vince.
It's all these things that just were like you could just put if you were to set up a ladder with no rungs of everything that's happened to him. Basically, I mean, you could go his whole WWE career, but even what he just talked about of being at that renewal of the contract signing, every little rung could be something else. And then as soon as he got to the top, it's just he's like, I'm done with this. Like. They didn't give him much of a choice, honestly. One man can only take so much crap from a company.
Oh, and we haven't even talked about the best part yet, because I just completely forgot about it. They fired him on his fucking wedding day.
I know. Fired him on his wedding day.
Yeah,
the day that's supposed to be your greatest day of your life.
After Triple H talked to him 2 days earlier, the first time he had talked to him in almost a half a year, he's like, "Hey, let's talk," or something like this. And Punk told him, "Hey, look, send me my royalty checks that you owe me." He's like, I'm doing this wedding, I'm doing the honeymoon. He says, "Let's talk after I get back, and we'll talk things out." It sounded like Punk was like to the point where okay, I've had my time off, I've healed, I'm ready to come back. Is what it sounded like to me.
Yeah, well,
it
was an open discussion.
Yeah, an open discussion that probably could have led to, okay, this is how you're going to return. This is what we're going to do for you. We'll give you the main event WrestleMania. You're back and whatnot. This is how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
And that's probably what it would have led to. But these assholes send him a fucking FedEx like they're fucking Eric Bischoff sending Stone Cold his walking papers. Via FedEx.
Yeah.
Here you go on your wedding day, especially when Punk told him he is getting married in 2 days, and they took the liberty to make sure he got his fucking walking papers the day of his wedding. How fucking shitty is that? It's of all the shit they've done to him and given to him.
Yeah,
he said that was the straw that broke the camel's back. Yes. That is the one thing.
That's the thing that's going to make him not want to go back. Even after he loses his bitterness about things that have happened to him in the past.
Yeah, it sounded like he did. And when he lawyered up and got his lawyers and got his stuff that he basically said, "You know what, I'm fucking done with you. I will never fucking work for that company again." Basically because of what you did. You send me my walking papers on my wedding day. Fuck you.
And stuff like that. It's like I'd love to know whose idea that really was, because from everything we've
that's all Triple H.
Oh, that's what I'm thinking, and that's why it's like me. I hate Vince McMahon, and I think he's an evil bastard. But from everything that we've read and heard, Vince, I feel Vince would actually meet up with CM Punk tomorrow, and have a smile on his face. And Triple H, he'd have a shank. And he would try to shank CM Punk.
Yeah.
If that's Triple H, Triple H is a new level of a cold bastard in my book.
I wonder if Triple H went and did the firing on his own without telling the old man, "Hey, I'm sending these papers on his wedding day." Because I bet you Vince would have been like, "No, that's not the right thing to do."
Oh, I'm sure Vince. I mean.
And I know how much you hate Vince McMahon.
Yeah.
I think after this, you might hate Triple H just a little bit more.
Oh, I do. Maybe not more than Vince, because Vince has had more time. He's had more things that he's done over the years. But Triple H is on his way. I don't have much respect for Triple H, especially after this. And that's why Triple H is pissed, because Triple H is getting exposed for what he is. Triple H is a douchebag, and he knows he is. Like, you want to talk about the typical jock? Triple H is the typical high school quarterback jock that just cares about himself.
Yeah.
Like, Triple H has it made. He's got the girl with
and I bet
money, and he's got the company.
You know what? He had that nice storyline with her. I bet you he thought to himself in his head, you know, yeah, if I get with her, I could probably own this place.
I mean,
I bet you that crossed his fucking mind.
Oh, sure, crossed his mind, yeah. All right, so after all of this, I don't know, because this has been so many months of speculation over everything. How satisfied are you from closing the door of the CM Punk and WWE novel?
I'm glad that I finally got pretty much like what I wanted, which was like an hour and a half conversation of Punk just laying it all on the line. I'm sure there's more he could tell, and he might in the next podcast and tell more things after he hears, you know, what WWE and Triple H and Ryback are saying about him. He might open up some more, which I hope he does.
Yeah.
I'm very satisfied. I do not blame. I'm a CM Punk supporter. Even if, like, I'm rational, like, I could tell, like, okay, you're being a big douchebag, CM Punk, but he's not. He has legitimate fucking gripes about everything. They could have killed him, you know, with this health stuff. You know, they were pushing him and pushing him and pushing him and pushing him. And he was backed into a corner, and you get to a point where you're just like, you just want to fucking kill everybody. And that's the point he was at. I do not blame him one bit, about any of this stuff. So yeah.
I agree. I feel he was always rushed in everything he did for the company, and he bent over backwards to do a lot of stuff for that company. And when he needed just some personal time or just some, he knows what his body can do, and he knows what his mind can do, and those are two completely different things within professional wrestling. And Vince, I think, pushed him, and Triple H pushed him in ways that he couldn't go back anymore, and that's what happened. And I mean, I'm okay with him leaving, and I'm okay if he never comes back. I think this was a very awesome and educational kind of interview that he had with Cabana, and I think it's going to show a lot of people just what some people have to deal with, especially people like CM Punk. So I'm okay with it, and I'm okay if we don't see him in WWE for a while. Just enjoy life.
Yeah.
All right, so we're going to end that right there, and we're going to talk about one other thing before we close this, which is going to be Sting.
Yeah, and Survivor Series.
Yeah. Do you want to talk about Survivor Series or just Sting in general?
Well, Sting in general.
Okay.
We could talk about the main event a little bit, but
yeah, we'll talk about the main event. Okay, so I had this conversation with my brother actually yesterday about Sting because he's a huge Sting fan. Okay. We never even really texted each other about when Sting debuted, but he finally did debut. And I'm going to try to make this I'm going to be like CM Punk here. I'm going to try to not make this a negative WWE thing, and I'm going to just tell you how I, as a fan, thought about the debut, and then you can tell me your opinion. Okay. So this is what happens. We have, who was it? Ziggler and Seth in the ring. The last two remaining people.
Yeah, they were down for 17 minutes.
Yeah. They were the last two people. Triple H comes in, and I think he pedigrees Dolph Ziggler, something like that, and there's stuff with the refs happen. Then you hear what I thought was Raven coming out, because you hear the crows go off in the arena, just like Raven's theme music used to happen. And then they played this really stupid music for Sting. Yeah.
Yes.
Because we see on the Titantron the Sting highlights and stuff like that, and the crowd goes crazy. And then Sting just nonchalant walks down, just taking his time, walking down, gets in the ring.
Like he's Undertaker.
Yeah, like he's Undertaker. Him and Triple H have like a 20-minute WrestleMania stare down. At one point, Triple H says something to him, and Sting looks at him like, "Are you an idiot?" or something like that. And then they battle for a minute or 30 seconds, and Sting hits his Scorpion Death Drop. And while this whole thing is happening, you have Seth and you have Dolph Ziggler in the ring, not moving an inch this whole time. Like they were both just pedigreed like 30 million times or something, and they can't get up. And then Sting puts Dolph over Seth, and Dolph is the one that ends up getting the win and everything. But I thought, first of all, why not just give Sting his? And I know this was one of your big gripes. The next day we talked about it. Why not just give Sting his iconic music that everybody knows, that you put in the WWE video game?
Yeah,
that you played for the WWE video game promo with like the violins, which would have been beautiful, like you had mentioned, and it was just so uneventful to me. And I was and leading up to it, I always wondered how I would feel when I saw Sting finally make his appearance on a WWE show. And honestly, my stomach was in knots. I felt sick to my stomach seeing it, and by the time I saw him in the ring, I was like, I wish this never happened.
Yeah, I didn't feel that way. I had a big grin on my face because I was like, finally, it's here. It was, I think the music was awful. Like, just give him his iconic music. Even if you would have did the orchestra music from the WWE 2K15 commercial, I would have been completely fine with that because I thought that was cool as hell. Then he came down, he had his stare down with Triple H, he hit the Scorpion Death Drop on him. But my main thing is, where does this go from here? Like, is this leading to a Sting versus Triple H match at Royal Rumble, or where does this go? And then they didn't even have Sting on Monday Night Raw, which made no sense to me either. I get it that you want to make him a big attraction and all that, and like a Hulk Hogan kind of thing, but okay, you have him Scorpion Death Drop, Triple H, and then that's it. Yeah. Nobody knows why or anything. And there was no mention of him really at all. I mean, they mentioned him a little bit,
yeah,
but it was not like, this is why he did it, or what, anything like that, or this is what's going to lead to it. I just thought that was dumb. So I don't know if they're leading to a Triple H and Sting match at Mania or the Rumble, and then they're going to have Sting versus Undertaker at Mania. Nobody knows anything yet. It's too early in the game for that.
Yeah, it's all speculation.
I could see him being in the Royal Rumble this year.
Yeah, that could be too. I mean, I think they could use some buys. I wouldn't be shocked if they put Hogan and fucking Sting in the Rumble. That would be kind of cool, just nostalgic wise. When I saw it, and then after everything, I was thinking, okay, well, that's his WrestleMania right there. That's his WrestleMania match, because
that's what I thought too.
I don't think Taker wrestles again, and after he loses to Brock, there is no point for him to wrestle again, especially not Sting. Who cares? I don't care.
I still care, but I get what you're saying.
I mean, do you really care enough to watch two guys that should have retired 10 years ago in the ring with nothing on the line besides just nostalgia? It'll make me sad, honestly.
Okay, well, did you care about Hogan versus The Rock at WrestleMania when it was NWO Hogan?
No.
Exactly. So
that's my point. Like, I didn't I know, and they're going to do what they're going to do, but I know I've seen online that some people are thinking that this is going to be a multi-match deal with Sting, which it could be. It could be a 3 to 4 match contract that's going to end at WrestleMania.
Well,
or going to end with him being in the Hall of Fame.
My thing is, like, they're saying, the Hall of Fame. Like, if you're going to do the Hall of Fame, do it this year, because that's like his home state, his hometown, whatever, where he's been.
Well, it's Georgia, right?
No, it's in California.
Was last year's Georgia?
No, last year was.
Oh, was last year New Orleans?
Yes, New Orleans, and then this year
What's
is at
Georgia happening?
Maybe that's the next one. I don't know.
I don't know because I remember people were speculating that the Georgia one, because that's the home of WCW, that would be more of a WCW influence.
Okay, well that might be next year's one, because this year's is in California at Levi Stadium for the 49ers.
Okay, yeah, that's his home. So
maybe next year is the Georgia one, which would make sense.
Yeah. Okay.
But
yeah, I don't know.
I mean, either or works.
Yeah.
I guess so. It looks like it's just pretty much like a 1 year, like a little over 1 year deal for Sting. It looks like he'll have like maybe two, maybe 3 matches, and that's it. But like, I would love to see, like, because he took the authority out of Power, I'd love to see Sting be the commissioner or the GM or whatever for a year.
Yeah, and Triple H mentioned that too. Like, would you guys like to see him as the GM and stuff like that? So I don't know what they're planning on doing. Like, with the whole thing of Vince coming out randomly at the very start of the pay-per-view and talking about how if, like, the Authority loses, the only person that can put them back in Authority is John Cena. So I mean, I feel that has something to do with it. That's gonna be like a main reason for their match. But I mean, I don't know. That would make no sense for John Cena to put him back in Authority unless you're doing a John Cena heel turn, which you're not going to do.
No, they would never do that.
No.
So
I don't know. So yeah, I wasn't a fan of Sting's debut whatsoever.
No, I thought it
here's
was
my biggest thing with it is it was so not creative.
Yeah.
Like, me and you, we could be dead asleep. You wake us up, instantly we could have come up with something more creative than that.
Yeah.
Like most people could. Like, if that's the best creative can do, I mean, God, please get rid of them.
One of my biggest things was he didn't even have his fucking bat.
Exactly. He didn't have
like, that's like the like icon thing of Sting.
Yeah.
Excuse the pun of icon, but
yeah. But I mean, it's like, I don't know. It's like the whole thing. Nothing added up. It was just so lame and slow, uneventful. Didn't have his music. Didn't have his bat. It was just like, oh, what is going on?
That's like if he would have came out with no fucking face paint on.
Yeah, like you might as well just put him in a baseball cap and glasses on.
And call him Steve Borden.
Yeah, Steve Borden.
It's Steve Borden. That's like the first time when Big Show came out with the corporation. They just called him Paul White.
Yeah.
Remember that? It's Paul White. Oh my God, Michael Cole's going crazy. It's Paul White. It's Paul or JR. It's Paul White. It's Paul White. Like, everyone's like, who the fuck's that?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
and then yeah, like the next night, it was the first time I tuned into Raw for a while. It got my attention enough to want to watch Raw actually.
And they
wasn't even there. It was just Triple H talking about him for 5 minutes. And it's like, oh, God.
No.
So, yeah.
Oh.
All right, well,
I think that's going to end it.
Yeah,
yep.
that's gonna end it for this week. I'm glad we're back. Glad we're doing this again. Hopefully we stay a while.
Oh, wait a minute. I'm getting an alert on my phone. CM Punk has re-signed with the WWE. Looks like they got him to agree to do a movie deal. He is going to be the next Casey Jones in the Ninja Turtles movie.
Actually, you know what? This is actually true. I was looking on my phone just a minute ago. CM Punk actually did just open up an online store with I think like WrestleFans.com or something.
Yeah, they said that at the beginning of that podcast because we didn't listen to that.
Yeah.
He was opening up his own one today.
Yeah. So apparently that went live just like 10 minutes ago or something like that.
Nice.
But that's gonna end this week. God, I'm gonna ask you guys, give us questions. Give us something.
I think we need to start a Twitter thing. CM Punk for Casey Jones. On Twitter, or get it trending.
Yeah, we're gonna try to get that one trending.
We need Michael Bay to look at this and be like, wow, we need to get this guy for Casey Jones.
Oh, don't do that. Michael Bay will turn him into a robot.
No shit. He'll be the next star in the Transformers. I heard they're not even doing Wahlberg in the next one. It's gonna be somebody else. I forget who it was.
Oh, really? They didn't like the Wahlberg, huh?
No, I forget who it was. It was another big name actor.
I
Oh,
actually didn't mind that
forget.
Transformers, but now we're getting off topic, not even about wrestling anymore. All right, guys, we're gonna get out of here. Make sure to follow us on Twitter at the Rope Break. This will be posted on YouTube, and I think going forward after the holidays, we're going to kind of turn this into a YouTube show as well, which would be kind of cool. Basically, just be me on YouTube, and then talking with Eric through Skype, and that's what we're going to be doing, I think, going forward.
All right, we'll see you guys later.